I don't know. That's not necessarily a good sign, but we're gonna get her on the lift now and see what we can find out, and then well, hopefully we don't have to tell him any super bad news. That would suck. We didn't build it, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Like I like Mike. I want to see his car running good. That way he has no excuses when the Plaid hands him, his ass again.
Yeah, I heard he did want a rematch.
He did want a rematch? Oh, well, we'll have to get a rematch there. So. Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Andrew of Complete Street Performance. And before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that, normal YouTube crap that you guys just skip beyond anyway. I know you're not going to do it, so supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay, so today we've got StreetSpeed717's car, the one that lost to the Plaid like at least 4 out of 6 times, arguably 5 out of 6 times. And that is his 2019 Corvette ZR1. Now, since that race, the car apparently started trying to piss itself and has been spewing oil well stopped. So we got to get to the bottom of it. Mike has asked us to figure it out because he's got a race coming up September 4th, Race Motive up at Pocono, where he's going to be doing some pretty high-end stuff, trapping like 170 plus miles per hour. And we can't have the car, spewing oil everywhere for that. Now, so we didn't build this car, and normally we would send it back to the person who did build it. That's, common courtesy, like for everybody. Now, he's been beating the snot out of it. It's been holding up really well. So I have nothing bad to say about any of the other shops. I'm not trying to steal business. I'm just local, and he has an event that he needs to make coming like right up. So it's clutch that he can't ship it across the country and then back here and make his event. So we're stepping in, not stepping on anybody's toes though. At least that's the goal here. So let's find out, let's see if we can identify the source of his leak, because that'll obviously that's what it's here for, to get it resolved. Maybe we'll beat the shit out of the car. We'll see.
A few moments later.
Cool? Yeah, it's missing a bolt. That's kind of important.
1 second.
That's why it's oil and coolant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There you go. There you go.
My first thought. Picking it up.
So what do you think's leaking? Take a guess. It's oil and coolant.
Well, it's probably his coolant, Rick. Oil coolant. Old that thing.
Okay, close.
Is it the line too?
It's missing a bolt.
It's missing a... Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Who built this thing? Which one of you fuckers did this?
We didn't build this car.
We did? Oh! Thank God! So this is what's leaking on StreetSpeed717's car. It's the oil cooler. It is the combination of what we saw on the ground. So it makes perfect sense. You have coolant that goes in here and cools the oil that comes in from here, from the engine, right above where the filter sits. And basically these Torx bolts were not tight, so they started loosening themselves up after a period of time. Now he's been beating the snot out of it for a while, and honestly they must have been snug to some degree to last this long, but they did back out, and that's why we see the oil that's on the ground mixed with a little bit of coolant, because, well, a little bit of coolant's leaking there. So not bad, not the worst thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that it's an easy fix. That way we can get him back on the road, and we don't have to dive into it, because I didn't really want to inherit this build like that. That's not I don't want to inherit all those problems, which is really just this problem. So that's actually pretty good. But then if there is another problem and I inherit it, that would suck. This is what was leaking, and luckily I had one from a blown up engine that we were able. I think this is from my C7. I'm pretty sure this is from my C7. The one where the side of the block exploded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that So it lives on. It lives on. Great. I want to see how much power this thing actually makes. I've forced Mike to let me put it on the dyno because why not? It's another shop's build. I want to see what it actually makes on our dyno because, you know, every dyno is a little bit different. Now, apparently it made 1010 or 1020 standard on LMR's dyno. Let's see if it can hold up on ours. We've made a list of what we think the car is going to put down. As you see, there's a decent spread, all in the 900s. What's 966 is the highest there, so I'm going to go 967 because I'm going to be that dick. Sorry, Mike 2. Which one's Mike 2? Is that old Mike or new Mike?
New mic.
New Mike. Well, screw him then. I'll do 966.1. That would be even worse. Well, let's get it going. See what she puts down. This is going to be a cold pull, so it's going to be like those hero pulls that you hear about, where we let it sit all night long. The blower is not heat soaked, nothing's heat soaked. This is going to be the most power it puts down. It's running on C85. This is the LMR, what is it, 1200 build or something like that? And I mean, it's StreetSpeed's car. So let's see what what the plaid sauce took down. I just realized this car stinks. Smells like clickbait. It ran lean in the low end for a period of time that I don't understand about. Might do another pull, but that was weird as shit. I'm gonna look at that real quick. The secondary injectors did not spray until that point, and then it clicked in. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're gonna give it one more little eval here. Go again. So lost like 20 horsepower between two pulls. Okay, well, I mean, that's the thing about like heat soak. You know, heat just keeps on building into the blower. It looks like you shouldn't floor this thing before 4,000 RPM. That's it's not necessarily very good. I'm sure it's some oddity here that LMR needs to adjust. But yeah, I'm gonna let Mike know about it so he can, deal with them. This is not my build. This is more so just an evaluation. horsepower just from a couple runs that we're trying to mimic heat soak from like the street. That just goes to show you that the cooling system, well, it is a very, very good cooling system and usually handles very good at high speeds. Still will cost you power. That's what the inner chiller steps in for. So Mike, do an inner chiller! Although we don't really have to change the tune. We can get LMR to, you know, do whatever remotely. That way I don't have to like be a part of it, and like there's no like smorgasbord of like hands in it or anything like that, minus like installing the inner chiller itself. But yeah, so that's a good example of heat soak. And if I shut it off and run it again, it's probably going to get even worse. So we should do that. Okay, so we're down to 925. I'm going to give it just a 5-minute cool down here. Basically akin to what we've been doing on the street. The heat is going to rise up from the engine into the blower, heat soaking it more. We're going to hope that the fans do their job, but maybe it's going to fall even further than, what is it, 45 rear wheel horsepower, 46 rear wheel horsepower, something like that. So it's going to show some of the shortcomings, but it's still wonderful and still making power. So I don't want anybody to think that this is a bad build. This is like much better cooling than most of these cars have, especially like, you know, a factory Corvette, like it doesn't have the side rabs like this and all the extra cooling that the ZR1 has. So I want you guys to realize that this is just like, this is normal, in fact better than normal, these temperatures, and being able to do back-to-back. Some of them will just lose so much more than that, and yeah, we're going to use Street Speed as a wonderful example of it. Thanks, Mike. It seems like that 925, 928 area is about where it's going to settle. I'm seeing that the temperatures, the supercharger temperatures are coming back down to that same point. So I believe that that's basically the worst it gets. It has a high of 971, which was 991 SAE, so not too far off from what LMR dynoed it. They dynoed 1010 STD. So 991 STD versus 1010. That's well within the realm of reason. And then, but heat soak does take it down 40 to 45 rear wheel horsepower. Most of the time, I'm guessing that he's running around at this like 920, 930-ish area to the wheels SAE, which is probably about 950 STD. Not to confuse the shit out of everybody, but to confuse the shit out of everybody. The blower settled 2 degrees higher than that last pull, and I'm not going to give it another pull anymore. I think we're done. We've beat his car up enough, and yeah, but everything looks good. Oil pressure looks fine. The temperatures keep on coming down on the blower. The coolant temperatures are where they're supposed to be. Everything's kind of, you know, where it's supposed to be. There's a little hiccup, you know, before 4,000, before the secondary port injection. Well, not secondary, but before the port injection actually fires. But for the most part, it's doing good. Is this good? You're the worst. So you made 991 in standard, and that's what, like 19 horsepower off from what is
so
dynoed
made
at
1010 more.
Yeah, and then because it's hot, and your car started heating up, it dropped all the way down to like 920 SAE from 970. So it dropped
brutal.
like 40 some, up to 46 rear wheel horsepower.
Lower car, really hot out. That's what happened. So what do you think? Should we get the inner chiller? That would help.
I think you should. I think you should absolutely get the inner chiller. You'll probably hit the 1,000 plus consistently with the inner chiller.
And I need that if I'm going to be, because like, okay, Pocono Like at Pocono, you wait in between runs, you have
Yeah.
some time to cool down. But on the street, well, allegedly, if I was going to race on the street, sometimes you have to kind of go back to back quicker.
So if you feel right here, it's
So this is the inner chiller.
well, this is the intercooler. The
Okay.
interchiller is another piece. It's basically your heat exchanger then that cools it
Okay.
down. If you want to feel right here, this is where the brick is. That's where the intercooler is. You feel how hot it is?
Yeah.
That sucks, right?
Yeah, it's very hot.
And it's going to be hard to cool that down on a day like today.
Yeah.
And it's not like horribly hot, but I mean, minus our twin turbo
It's
setup
pretty
here.
hot. Like touching it, it's
Yeah, it's toasty.
So this thing is magical.
It is magical.
So
I mean, the
wait,
whole
we're
thing's
gonna
magical
do a
here.
live
The
demo? Is that what's
CSP,
happening?
the CSP
alright.
twin turbo setup. Everything's all magical.
I love the LME intake manifold.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, it looks really nice. Okay, so we put it quiet mode. So this will.
It's already getting cooler.
Oh yeah, that's gonna keep on getting cooler and cooler until it's like almost got ice on it.
Honestly, like, okay, being honest, it got cold right away. That's gotta be huge. That's gotta be huge.
It is.
Because, like, I know I'm losing, well, what, I lost 40
You
horsepower
lost
in
46
one run.
horsepower over like 2 runs. So like the first run was like 970, the next one was like 950 ish. No, and then the next one was like
Wait, so
920.
It got
Yeah.
exponentially
Every
worse.
run
Oh yeah,
goes
every
up.
single run.
Wow.
And that was from cold. So if you drive it somewhere and you stop, all that heat just goes right up into your
that's
blower,
why
and then you're
I lost.
basically right down to the 920.
If I had
Oh
the-
yeah, yeah, that's
I would've
exactly
blown you away.
Well, we can put this to the test.
You see? It all makes sense now. Had I had the inner chiller, the tie would have walked him.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I lost.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you a forced induction interchiller.
Yeah.
I told Kirk. I said he's not going to do it, so now I'm going to have to send him this video.
I'm gonna do
He's
it.
going to be like, he's probably going to.
After my race motive events, I'll do it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Just in time for winter. Perfect time.
Yeah. So you'll get the coldest temps.
I
Yeah, that's why our twin turbo kits are the coldest on the planet.
Yep. So
Or the
that's-
coolest on the planet. I messed up my puns. It's too hot out here.
You gotta keep track of your puns, buddy.
I know. I'm failing. Okay, I'm turning this off.
Badass. All right, what are you saying?
So if you open butthole.
Dude, okay. All right. Open butthole.
I went to Complete Street Performance and I got demonetized.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Don't do it!
That's gotta be hot. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You keep leaving him hanging, man. Come on.
I'm sorry. He just wants to leave. So StreetSpeed717 has picked up his car. He's going to get into the race motive event September 4th at the Pocono Raceway. Yours truly may or may not be there with the plaid for the rematch. I think it'll be a little bit more fair now that it would be an equal start. Kind of you time it so you start at the same time. That's where the plaid shines, is that acceleration. So we'll see if we can meet up with him there. Otherwise, we got a lot of fun things that are coming up on the channel. We have the wagon, which has come back to life, or is coming back to life in preparation for LS Fest. Since this is not an LS engine, we got to take the LSA down, so that's really sweet. I haven't driven that thing in a very long time. I got about 2 weeks of driving that before it like went, and I'm really excited to get behind the wheel again. See if this is going to be better than ever. This is the full sauce build, which I'm really excited to see. And then we got some other surprises on the channel. We have even some good stuff with the twin turbo setups for the C8s coming up. You're going to see our first customer install, and you'll never guess who, unless you actually got all the hints that we put out there. Then you will guess who, and you can write that in the comments below. Okay, guys, adios.